It's that time of the year again. It is Summer Games Fest time. Wait, what? No, this is too early. It's not even June yet. So OTK decided to go first on May 25th this year, almost a full week and a half before the actual Summer Games Fest started. And for the third year in a row, I actually wasn't planning on watching this showcase. Last year's 4-hour-long stream was an absolute grind to sit through, but this came around right as I was writing my last year's recap video, and I figured this might help get me back into the swing of things, as well as I haven't, kind of uploaded in a little while, and I think I owe you guys some content. So again, it is time to begrudgingly cover the OTK showcase. And it looks like OTK learned from last year and slimmed down that awful UI they had when they were showing the games off in the pre-show. Just for reference, this is how they showed a few trailers in their pre-show last year. Absolute improvement. And you know what? The first game they started off with looked alright. This is Lucid, and I really liked the look of this one. Good luck finding it between the 3 other games on the Steam store that share the same name as this one. Away From Home is a rhythm-based RPG, I think. I really loved the look of the sprite work on this one, and the music actually sounded good. Below Rusted Gods is another one of those trippy horror games we get a few of every year. I hope it's less walking sim and more actual game. Bagdex is a creature collector, and there is no fucking way this game is calling its creatures Bagmons. Yeah, nah, this one, it looked a little too rough. When the trailer for Popucom first started, I thought this was like a kind of, we have Splatoon at home type deal. But it's actually a co-op puzzle game, which actually made me pretty interested in playing it. Boardwalk Builders is a game that looked okay, but the trailer seriously bored me to shit. It's got an art style that's very reminiscent of those old Flash games made by, I think it was Nitrome back in the day. Like, does anyone remember Skywire? Skywire was the shit. Echo and the Bewitched Land. Alright, a couple of things stood out to me with this one. Firstly, if you're making a trailer that is going to be seen by a lot of people, maybe make sure there aren't any bugs in your gameplay. I saw this dude disappear and it sure didn't look like he was supposed to do that. Also, audio. I'm going to play a section of the audio and you guys can, tell me what's wrong with it. Fallen Tier, The Ascension. Why does nobody in this game have pupils in their eyeballs? Hellbreak is giving off some serious We Have Doom at Home energy, but the music absolutely ripped in this trailer. I liked it. This trailer didn't need to tell me it was created by the maker of Yuppie Psycho. I can tell. Catachesis, I think is how you say this game. It's probably almost certainly going to be good. Art Diff. Surely this isn't a fucking spot the difference game. What? Oh my god. They credited Kevin MacLeod like he actually worked on the game. Like, it's free stock music, man. Also, this game has been out for a year already, so I don't know why it's being shown in this showcase. Dreadwave looked extremely mid to me. You can always tell when a trailer is aiming to edit around, like, bad-looking gameplay. Divinum is another 2D action platformer. We're going to see a few of these going forward. Yeah, look, it's another one. Color Fear. Whoa, look out, it's Yellow House. Ah! It's another trippy looking horror game. I'll give it points for the creative editing of the trailer, but I'm also taking away points because there was no climax to it. It just kind of ended. Dominova looks to answer the question, what if Balatro, but dominoes? We really are going to be entering the world of, Balatroized card and board games this year, aren't we? Eternity's Echo. Holy head shake. Is this girl's neck made out of a slinky? Jesus Christ, just stop it. What is even going on in this trailer? Cauldron looks like a game that sports a lot of variety. Yeah, I like it. Gloomy Juncture is a point-and-click psychological horror game. I mean, I could tell it was a psychological horror game, but I couldn't tell it was a point-and-click game from the trailer. Cast and Chill. I'm not really into fishing games, but holy hell did this one really bring the vibes. Gig Crawler looked pretty rough. Again, another game that looked to be editing around the gameplay quite a bit. Killer. Yeah, look, I think there was an encoding problem with the trailer for this one. There was no way that the trailer was meant to look like this. I couldn't find this exact trailer anywhere else online as of recording, but none of the other ones looked like this. I think this was a stream problem. Glint Seeker Island is not a game I think I would play, but I can't deny that it has some interesting things going on that I reckon people are going to like. Gug was so close to having a good trailer. If only it didn't spend the momentum it was building up to a montage of naming these ball things. Monday Syndrome is showing some promise with its aesthetic, but not with its gameplay. Roadside Egg Stand. Is this some kind of propaganda to get people to raise chickens because of the current, world shortage of eggs? So the trailer for Hidden Pass had one of those voiceovers in it, kind of like the Honest Trailers guide where they do the classic "in a world" kind of deal. I can't really do the voice, but they were going for that, very bass and epic voice, except there was no bass to this guy's voice. It sounds like it was mixed out.
Only you can claim your desires.
Or it was just recorded on a mic that didn't pick up the full range of the voice. It was so weird. But not as weird as the next trailer, which had another deep, bassy voiceover.
Experience a new kind of surfing game.
And I'm pretty sure this was the guy from Honest Trailers. But holy shit, what the fuck was this? How was this game allowed on the show? Hopeless Sea is here to bring us back to reality with a roguelike auto-scroller shooter. I like the two-tone color art style. I'm feeling this one's going to be a good one. Schematic Void is a puzzle game. That's all I could glean from this. The trailer had some obnoxious music and the gameplay looked just kind of mid. This pre-show is really going down the drain in quality because we just have like another really bad trailer with Imperium, which just also looks really, really mid. And then we hit the bottom of the barrel with Call of Duty. Yeah, it sure does look like Dookie. No joke, the music in this trailer is a parody of Tenacious D's Tribute.
Oh no, this is a tribute. Oh.
It was bad. This game is going for an ironically bad tone, but I just think it's bad. The line between what is or isn't copyright infringement is, extremely blurry, and Snowtown Geek Store is really adamant that it wants to walk that line. Tales of Tuscany is a new game made by the same person who did a Athenian Rhapsody, which I believe was in last year's OTK showcase. That game was well received, so I don't see any reason why this one also wouldn't be, because it looks like it's going for the same kind of vibes. And Tearscape, it looks like this game is going for an old school Legend of Zelda vibe, but it's kind of reminding me a bit more of Hyper Light Drifter more than anything. Brew is a third-person roguelike where you drink a lot. It sounds like it's up my alley, but it does not look like it's up my alley. Wanderlust. Survival, craft, zombies. Okay, got it. Void Dungeon doesn't look like anything special, and while it doesn't look like anything special, at the same time it does look like a bit of fun. I could definitely see myself playing this one if the price is right. Empty Shell 2 is a top-down extraction shooter. I really love the atmosphere of this trailer. I don't think it's for me, but I reckon it's going to be good. Wow, that was a lot of games. I'm glad that's all over. Wait, what do you mean that was just the pre-show? No, that was just like a pretty tight conference of games with some questionable quality. What do you mean? What do you mean there's another 2 hours left? So the OTK Games Expo started off with a major claim that it is the biggest indie game expo on Twitch, and sure, this year it is hosted once again by Olive May and newcomer Bruce Green. What I like about this show is that they get the viewers to vote on their favorite trailers, and the top 5 most popular trailers get grants to help continue funding development for their games. I think that's really cool stuff.
So let's get the show actually started. Let's see some games.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Bruce. So let's do this. First game of the official show was from one of OTK's major sponsors, Mad Mushroom. No sign of the very obviously stoned rep that they had last year, so good stuff. To Kill a God is a Vampire Survivors clone. Yay! To be fair, this does look pretty good for a Survivors clone, and goddamn was it refreshing to see a decently edited trailer. But there are too many of these games already. Ad Mortem is a melee multiplayer game and is looking very chivalry-like. I really liked the look of this one. It's very smart for there to be a co-op dungeon crawler mode just in case the multiplayer online side doesn't work out. Don't love that this needs to be a Kickstarter, but what's curious is that the Kickstarter isn't even launched until September, so it seems like a bit of a waste of a marketing push, if not for the fact that they were one of the games that was voted to receive one of the grants later on, so I guess they did get something out of it. Critter Uppers is a creature collector that looks to have some active combat mechanics, but it's really not standing out to me. Morose Protocol is an action horror FPS. It's got some great atmosphere and art, and the combat flow looks fun. This one is definitely on my radar. The Backworld is a horror turn-based RPG, and it looks like the kind of game that I wanted Bloomtown to be, but didn't quite live up to that horror weird potential. This one definitely looks like it's going all in on the weird horror. Undermire has an interesting art style and premise, but the gameplay does not look very fun or interesting. So there was a game last year called Broken Law Unfollowed, which I talked about, and it looked okay. This year they showed off the game again. It didn't look like it was showing off much new, but apparently they are also working on another game called Broken Law Don't Look, which was showing a bit more gameplay than the game that was revealed last year. Anyway, I'm going to put these both into mid. Pigeon's mission did not grab me. I like the art style, the gameplay looks a little slow and clunky, and I was originally going to put this one as mid, but then I got emotionally blackmailed by the fact that this game was developed by a 7-year-old and his dad. I mean, in the interview, it's pretty apparent that the 7-year-old didn't actually develop the game, and it's probably just mostly the ideas for the game came from the kid, and the dad, created the game around that. And it's actually just very, very sweet. I hope this game does well. It's a cute story. Missile Command Delta is a modern reimagining of a game that absolutely nobody watching this, including myself, was old enough to play or remember. Missile Command is a weird IP to just dig up out of nowhere, but this looks interesting, so it's on my radar. Spellbound is giving me strong Enter the Gungeon vibes, even though there isn't a gun in sight. Beyond the Board is a puzzle movement game based on the Rook from chess. The premise looks pretty simple, but the execution of the art style and the vibes this trailer was showing is really hooked me. Bonnie Bear Saves Frog Time looks alright. There's a bit of mishmash of a lot of things happening in the trailer, and I couldn't really get a handle on what the game actually is. Aethermancer is a game I played the demo for during February's Steam Next Fest, and I really liked it. I'm looking forward to this one, and I'm a bit sad that there was no release date from the trailer, but I highly recommend checking out the demo for this one. Neo Junk City is another game that I played during Next Fest, and I really liked it despite it not really being my type of game. This trailer shows off a lot more variety than I thought there would be in the game, so this is looking promising. Breach Signal is a new co-op horror game aiming to enter the, Lethal Company kind of repo market. And for some reason, the trailer had an extremely choppy frame rate. So I looked around to see if there was another one, and the trailer on the Steam store page had the exact same problem. So that's a bit of a yikes. Morgenstern looks genuinely awful. It wasn't helped by the music from the trailer. It just kind of feeling a little too amateurish. Holy shit, that woman just got punted. Breathe Edge 2 is a sequel to a game I've never heard of, but the first game seems to have done pretty well. So I'm going to say that the second one will also be good. Starbirds is a game I talked about last year, and it's still not grabbing me. I'm sorry. Whisper Mountain Outbreak actually looks like a really cool co-op horror game. This one is definitely going on my radar. Deadlock Station is an auto battler, and this is the kind of genre of games I feel like we should see more of, but we don't for some reason. I think this looks great. Realms of Madness gave me some aggressively mid vibes. The art and, let's be honest, the lack of animation really isn't doing it for me. Project Amica is a boomer shooter, and most boomer shooters usually have a very dark and kind of hellish aesthetics. It's kind of refreshing to see one change it up a bit and just be kind of bright. What if Mickey Mouse was a horror game? Look, if the most impressive animation in your game is from the nearly 100-year-old public domain cartoon, you're not doing it right. Next up, we have another horror game that feels less like a game and more like a sizzle reel of just showing us mildly disturbing things without context. Pioneer is a game I talked about in the most recent Future Games Fest. I thought it was just another Stalker clone at the time, but it's actually meant to be a first-person MMO, which does make it a bit more interesting than I initially thought, so I think this might be alright. Fish Hunters, I'm not saying the whole title of this game, but it looks like some real dumb fun. The Devil's Due, not much to see here gameplay wise, but I like the vibes and the music in the trailer. I'm interested but not sold. I'd like to have seen more of the gameplay before I'd go positive on this one. Flesh Made Fear is meant to be an homage to the PS1 kind of era of horror games. I mean, you could probably already tell by looking at it. The inspiration from Resident Evil and Silent Hill are pretty much plastered all over the walls and the floors and this big eyeball knife creature thing. Gravebound is a third-person extraction battle royale shooter, and if that description wasn't enough to make your eyes roll, then maybe a look at the gameplay will do it. Also, maybe watch your trailers before you post them so we don't see that you recorded this with the NVIDIA GeForce overlay. Are you even trying? Doomspire is a card battler. That's all I have to say on that one. Melted Time is a horror platformer that looks better than it has any right to be. There's no way that this game doesn't end with this candle melting down into a stub and dying. Unemployment Simulator 2018. Why 2018? I don't know. Long-term unemployment is enough of a psychological horror experience that I don't think I want to play a game that puts actual psychological horror on top of that. Rue Valley is a time loop narrative-led game. The last one of these I played was 12 minutes, and that game kind of sucked. I hope this one does it better. It had a pretty fun trailer though, so I'm gonna lean positive. My Little Puppy is a game about a puppy in heaven trying to find his owner. I don't know about you guys, but something looked extremely off about the gameplay with this one. Either it's too scripted or the gameplay is lacking in a bit of substance. And I'm not too thrilled about the idea of playing a game about a dead puppy, to be honest. Ravenous Horde. I wonder which game inspired this one. Did you know that Call of Duty World at War is a 17-year-old game? And if you can't make a game that looks better than the oldest version of COD Zombies, then don't. Devil Jam is yet another Vampire Survivors clone. Tabletop Game Shop Simulator. Wow, what shop simulator will they think of next? We are God knows how many games into this showcase now, and I've seen some shit. When the song in the trailer for Mr. Sleepy Man broke into a rap verse, I can't really say I was that surprised or felt anything. I think I may be dead inside. Poco is a game that somehow is the most unsettling thing I've seen so far in the showcase. The art style and the characters are just not agreeing with my brain. I hate it. The game's probably going to be okay though. I don't know. Next up we have, oh, for fuck's sakes, really? Another one? Don't Wake the Beast is a stealth-based roguelike game where you go into dungeons and steal things without alerting too many enemies in fear of waking the beast. And it's a neat premise. I like it. Clown Around is a first-person clown Hitman-esque kind of game. Do you ever feel like you're losing your grip on reality? Because I think I am. Relic Arena is,
Play as leaders that had profound impact throughout history. Abraham Lincoln.
Fourscore, and I'm gonna f you up.
I don't...
Harambe.
What the fuck, man? I take back what I said about auto battlers. If we're getting more of this, then I don't want any more of them. Just kill the genre. I'm done. Big hops. Yeah, that frog sure is doing some big hops. Nested Lands is a survival crafting city management sim in a world affected by the plague. I think the premise behind this game would have been much more fun like 8 years ago. Permafrost is a co-op survival crafting snow game. This game feels like it can go either way. I'm going to sit on mid because apart from the setting, it does feel like it's just doing the usual generic survival crafting things. Rift Storm actually looks alright. I don't know if it's because of the low bar of quality for many games during the showcase. It's kind of just making the alright looking games look better than what they are. But I think this one might actually be decent. The cliche way to do a trailer for a horror game is to have a player slowly walk through atmospheric environments, but Total Chaos does a really good job of it. Also, the brief look at gameplay made this game look very, very good. Alright, we are ending off the show with Shade Protocol, a cyberpunky Metrovania with some cool portal and kind of map manipulation mechanics. This is not my kind of style of game, but it looks fun nonetheless. Also, I lied. This wasn't quite the end of the show. You know, there were a couple more trailers after this, which I'm not going to talk about because most of them were either already out or just look like ads for shit mobile games. But there was one outlier.
Freeze! Underneath! Down on the ground! Now!
Dumbass droids.
What the fuck?
Critical Shift is worth mentioning just because of this. It's an XCOM style game with some horror elements, and I thought the gameplay looked a little weak, but I liked the horror atmosphere, and if it has a bunch more of out-of-pocket moments like this, then I think I'll give it a go. And that is it. So I don't think I gave OTK a grade last year because the showcase was kind of built more around the streamers and content creators playing quite a few of the game. Last year I kind of skipped most of that because I was kind of just mostly interested in watching the trailers. This year the OTK showcase felt like an actual Summer Games Fest showcase, which means I liked it a lot more than last year's. But I will admit that usually the OTK showcase, it isn't my wheelhouse kind of deal. It's not for me. So the problem comes with the people who are fans of OTK probably won't like it because the people that they're here for aren't really here this time around, which might have upset a few viewers. For me though, this is a major improvement. Although the quality control of what games are shown really needs to be checked, I feel like 10 to 15 games could have easily been cut from this thing and the showcase would have been a brilliant streamlined experience. But still, this was an absolute drain to get through. I'm giving OTK 2025 a C- grade this year. A lot of good, a lot of mixed quality. I may be a bit biased because I like Bruce Green, but I thought the presentation of the showcase was fun. It was a lot less awkward than last year's. The jokes were hit or miss, but that's fine. That's part of the course. Alright, that is all I've got for you today, so thank you so much for watching this video. So if you liked the video, then give it a like, and let me know in the comments what your favorite game from this showcase was and why I was wrong to hate on it. If you are interested in seeing me cover the rest of the Summer Games Fest, then don't forget to subscribe and stick around because I will be recapping last year's event later this week to see how many of the games from the 2024 showcases actually came out and if they were good, as well as covering the main event and side showcases early in June. Many thanks to my YouTube members, Controlled Killer, Yellow, Melodia, and Jingles. I'm so sorry that there hasn't been any videos this month. I'm hoping this one and the slew of upcoming bigger videos will make up for it. Look, thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you all soon.